we eventually moved to Florida, where I took a job working for my brother for a while in an architectural firm, which led to training in the business world, in the real estate world. I got my real estate license and became a realtor and a property manager, and got my first real management job working for Barnett Bank, which was at the time the biggest bank in Florida. And so I started a 20-year career as a corporate property manager, a corporate real estate manager. As you can imagine, in the late 80s, early 90s, that was a pretty male-dominated field. So it was a challenge for me to learn how to fit in. There were no female mentors. All the women that surrounded me were secretaries, and that's how they referred to themselves. Mm-hmm. That's how they saw themselves. And they wanted to work for the men because it was more prestigious. So I really found myself having to create my own role. And of course started out with power suits, being as strong as the guys, showing everybody I could be tough. And after a very short time realized that didn't work very well. And one of my favorite experiences at the time, I had probably been working for the company for about 3 years, and I negotiated all of the real estate purchases, the real estate sales of property, and leases. And being Barnett Bank, we leased property in some of the most prestigious buildings in South Florida. Our lease in Coral Gables, very expensive area, was coming up, and it was time to renegotiate the lease. And the owner of the building was a Latin American man, probably in his mid-40s, mid-50s. At the time, I was in my 30s, so looked a lot better than I do now. But I went to the meeting with my real estate broker, and who was representing us in the deal. And the meeting started out with this gentleman basically falling all over himself to flirt with me. And I thought, okay, I can fight this, and then it's just going to make him angry, and it's going to make the negotiations that much harder. Or I can totally work with this and turn it my way. And that's what I did. I basically asked him to explain things to me. Okay, so you're saying that you're not including this in the deal? Sorry, but maybe I'm just not understanding correctly. Could you explain that to me again? Because I really thought that it was included, and I'm pretty sure that's what I told my boss, and I would hate to have to go back and explain to him that it wasn't included, knowing full well that I just didn't want, that he was not including it, but I wanted it in the deal. So it was the first time that I ever felt like using my feminine gifts was maybe not such a bad idea. We ended up getting everything we wanted in the negotiation, and then some. The gentleman who kept inviting me to meet him afterwards so that we could fly to Switzerland for the weekend was happy because I catered to him through the entire meeting and flattered him. And when we walked out and got in the car, my broker said to me, I've never seen someone raked over the coals and be so happy about it as what happened in that meeting just now. Is it a moment I'm proud of? Yeah, probably. Is it a strategy that I fine-tuned? Yes, and never had to use it quite that blatantly again. But it was also a time for me of understanding that as a woman in business, I didn't have to act like a guy. I could use the strategies, the approaches that had been given to me, and work them to make a real estate transaction a success where everyone could walk away feeling good about themselves. And that really became my approach to business and something that I've pretty much carried through life.